Here's some little teaching tips for today, and it is the chair pose. The pose that everybody loves to hate because it really works our legs. It works the quads, it works the glutes, but there's there's a couple of common mistakes that people make with chair pose. So I want to go through that, and I want to give you some tips to help you correct that. So what is our chair pose, or Utkatasana as it's known in Sanskrit? It looks like this. Or you could do it like this, or you could do it like this. So what's happening here? What I often see when people come to do chair pose is this happens. This is a real common mistake. They come to sit and they go, right. So this angle's really closed, the bottom's sticking out, there's not a lot of action going on in the legs. We want to think chest high, bottom low. So what I often say is, imagine you are going out for dinner with a friend, you sit down at the table. Would you sit down and plant your face on the table? You wouldn't. You'd sit down looking at your friend across the table. Or my other little technique is, imagine you're sitting on a high bar stool, a glass of champagne, or whatever your tipple is. So we wouldn't sit at a bar and go, well, you might do if it's early hours in the morning and you've had too many, but generally we would sit down, high stool, start here. Maybe your stool gets a little lower. The stool gets lower, the knees bend deeper, but we don't close this gap in the hips. So think about that. So you want to think about sit bones coming down towards your heels rather than shooting out at the back. You want to think about keeping your chest high and proud, your rib cage, your lower ribs tucked down and in. So no popping, no jutting out the bum, definitely no dumping in the back. Your weight is mainly in your heels. So practice first without the arms. Just keep the arms close because these just add an extra dimension. So if you're not sure where you're at, just practice with the hands close. Feet narrow hip distance wise. There's a little space in the feet here because we want this alignment from your hip bones or your hip joints right down your thigh bones, down into your toes. We bend the knees and we let the weight come back into the heels. So we're kind of 80% of the weight is into the heels, 20% into the ball of the foot. My toes can wiggle here. There's no real weight on my toes. There's some weight in the ball of the foot, but most of the weight is in the heels. Tailbone or sit bones down towards the floor. Belly is in, rib cage is down, heart is forward, your gaze is forward. If you're naturally looking at the floor here, what's happened is your bum's come high. So drop the bum down, let the knees travel forward over the toes, lift the chest. If this feels comfortable, bring in those arms either side of the ears. I hope that helps with your chair pose. It's a really good setup for balances like Utkatasana, your eagle pose, where you need to get that nice deep seat first. Feel the burn. If you're doing it right, you'll feel these legs.